has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
Thank God there's Pain Day football on tonight, Carver High, because I got to tell you, I was having a real struggle last night with the TV viewing. There was nothing, like, I just am not watching some of these boring heroin baseball games. They're just knock me out cold. I mean, 7:30, I'm seeing double. 8 o'clock, I'm out cold. I'm in bed by 10. Like, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I need football to keep me motivated, keep me swearing, keep me juiced. I need some football. I've been watching bad shows, one after the next. I try to get into Bad Monkey. I try to get into Slow Horses. I try to get into this Ridge, whatever it is, on Netflix with Don Johnson playing some corrupt, like, hillbilly cop. I'm trying everything. I'm trying everything. Channing Tatum's got some island. He's like Jeffrey Epstein throwing orgies on an island. It's just one bad show after the next. And, I mean, my cable bill with all these streaming services is about $0.10 a month, so I need more. I need Pain Day.
You got to have Pain Day. There's no doubt about that. And yes, now, albeit it was a very long day for me, but I even was falling asleep on the couch watching the Yankee game last night. I was just like,
automatic.
I mean, they intentionally walked
Japan.
Judge at one point. I was waiting for Judge to hopefully homer, and then they intentionally walked him at one point, and I went, all right, that's enough for me. I can't. I'm falling asleep.
Who needs sleeping pills when you got the Yankees on?
Yeah, it was an exciting finish, though, I guess. So it did end that way. Bases loaded for the Twins in the top of the 10th in Cleveland against the Guardians. So we will keep our eyes on there. That's what I've got on now after Baltimore's walk-off win with Santander. Pain Day Week 3 kicks off tonight at Jet Life, the Swamp, the Meadowlands, New Jersey, for the Jets and the Patriots. Let's start by hearing from the Jet head coach, Robert Saleh. Of course, the Jets were on the road the first 2 weeks of the season, 1-1, loss in San Francisco, a win in Music City. Saleh, very excited for his team to get back in front of the home crowd.
I hope it's off the chain. I mean, it's our home opener coming on a Thursday. I know our fans are some of the most passionate fans in all of football, and really looking forward to the atmosphere on Thursday night. And to answer your question, it's you want to play in the spotlight. As a coach, you want all 1 o'clock games because of the consistency of the week, but at the same time, you want to be a part of it because it means you're doing something good. And so it's being under the lights and being the only show on TV is a fun thing.
Listen, I don't really think they have fans because they never win. So I don't want to hear it, and neither do the Giants. Like, every team says that we have the greatest fans in the world. Yeah, whatever. I'll say this: the Patriots give up passing yards. Like, all you have to do is get rid of the ball quick against the Patriots, and they're like dead last in the NFL in stopping it. They don't stop the quick passes. If you throw the ball on the outside, in the flat, in the slot, get rid of the ball. If Rodgers drops back and gets rid of the ball quickly, you know who was great at that in college was Penix. I thought he got rid of the ball so quickly out of his hand, and that's why they won all those games. I think it's an easy way for the Jets to beat the Patriots tonight. And I got to tell you, this morning I did lay it. I don't even care. I'm not even going to wait for you to put it up.
You laid it, huh? Yeah, I'll put it up in a moment. Let's hear from Mayo first. Of course, rookie head coach. First time he's got to experience the Mayo Clinic. First time he's got to experience the short week. Everybody makes such a big deal about the Sunday to Thursday. Rookie head coach doing it. Let's see how he's handling it.
I think the first thing is to recover. That's the first thing. And so in saying that, we're going to bring the guys in late every day this week. They'll come in around 2 o'clock. I think it's important that those guys rest up, and it also gives the coaches an opportunity to get the game plan all put together. So that's the first thing. And secondly, it just comes back to executing. When you're sore, when you're tired, that's what it really comes back to.
Listen, I saw a story today about the reason why they look so different than under Belichick is that he was this guy ran it with an iron fist. he was literally Putin running the Patriots. Like they were in fear of him and their jobs, and it was all business. This guy's actually coaching them and, frankly, being one of them. He's kind of a player's coach. He's all about being one of the boys, and he's all business in that he understands he's got to win games and they got a job to do every week. But here's the thing with rest. It's simple. Like I see it now at the gym. They got hyperbaric chambers. They got all this stuff. They got red light therapy, whatever that is. Everywhere I go, red light therapy. You know, where I grew up, red light district. How does that sound? And then here's the deal, ice baths. And here's the deal, don't practice. I mean, what's the point? If you play Sunday and you travel for a Thursday night game, I think it should be meetings, film, and walkthroughs, no contact, ice baths, hyperbaric chambers. Try to get better. And, you know, Christ, if it's bad enough, guzzle painkillers. I mean, honestly, let's get real here. They need to show up Thursday night. Nothing else matters.
Look, they're also not exactly, they're not exactly flying to Seattle here either. You know, it's like
45 minutes.
It's like the Acela. You can take the train, jump on the Acela Express and get them down there in a couple of hours. So it's not that much of a grueling trip.
Who cares what their problems are? I hate them.
It's not. I hate them both. This is the first time in 24 meetings between these two teams that the Jets are favored. You believe that? That was the longest streak in the NFL. This is the first time in 24 games the Jets are favored over the Pats. It's -6.5 as we sit here right now, a few hours to kickoff. 38.5 is the total for tonight.
I laid 6. So all this 1/2 and 7 is nonsense. I got it at 6. It is what it is. I actually think tonight, and I could be wrong because the Patriots have owned them, but that was a different era. This is a whole new era for them. And I know they look good in 2 games, and fair enough. They didn't make mistakes, turn the ball over, no picks, no fumbles, stuff like that. That's why I thought they were in those games. That's why they won that game in Cincinnati. The Bengals turned the ball over left and right. You remember the guy running into the end zone for a touchdown? He's at the 1-yard line and he fumbles. That was no different than the Super Bowl when Seattle threw the pick in the end zone to Butler. So if you make mistakes in the NFL at this level, you lose. I don't care who you're playing. And here's the deal. I think that the Jets, with this guy, Rodgers, they have talent now. They have the ability to spread it out, get rid of the ball, and score. And they have a running back, 2 of them. They have a running attack. They got 2 guys that can produce. They have a vicious defense. What I saw when I envisioned this game was the Jets just blowing them out. I really did. Like 6, forget 6. How about they win by 26?
Yeah, look, I think early in the week I was leaning on the New England side because of how well they had played through the first 2 weeks. But I'm with you. I'm going to go after them here tonight, Scotty. Now, look, I would love, if the Patriots ever won this game, I would take, we'll give away that under 4.5 if it meant they beat the Jets tonight. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that for the first time this year, the Patriots are going to be put in a spot where they're going to be having to chase by 2 scores, 3 scores. Yeah, and that's not something that I don't think they're going to be very good at doing. So I'm with you. I think we're laying it here tonight. I don't know about I don't really love the total per se. I think if it's the game that I'm envisioning, it probably gets over. 31-10, that's good enough for the over at 38.5. I think the Jets are going to score some points. So
I'm with you. I think
at.
They're going to score tonight. And look, the Patriots were allegedly, according to all the geniuses out there that have something to say about the NFL, which is like 5 million people are geniuses now. Everybody's got all the answers. Everyone said that the Patriots were going to win less than 4.5 games. They were going to win 2, 3 games, 4 games at best, and that they're going to be horrible. They've been anything but, so everyone was wrong. But if they were right, that starts tonight. They get their ass beat.
right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all season long. What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Talk about your freshman year at Alabama and even the redshirt year that got you ready to perform at the highest level.
You had to learn a lot about humility, about being patient to play at Alabama. And you still knew that you're going to have a shot to win a championship every year. And so that's the line. And so I think that's what's really missing with today's football. You got NIL, you got social media.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, Carver High, I know you got a lot of prop bets for tonight's game at the Meadowlands.
We do. We have a lot of information for you here before we get to this game. Most bet player props for tonight. The most bet is actually Ramondre Stevenson, over 15.5 rushing attempts. Now, he's had over 20 in each of the first two Patriot games. But as we said before, Scotty, those games were tight, close, one-score games. Is he going to be running the football if they're down 14, 17 points tonight? I am not so sure. Garrett Wilson over 65.5 receiving yards. Breece Hall over 30.5 receiving yards. Stevenson over 65.5 rushes. And Jalen Polk under 19.5 receiving yards.
Well, those are, I think, extremely difficult props, right? So if they're down, then he's not going to run the ball 16 times. The only one that seems to make sense to me at all is the Garrett Wilson receiving yards, right? Because they throw the ball to Allen, and Hall's the one running the ball, so they're talking about him having all these receiving yards. Meanwhile, they throw it to the other guy. So, and, I'm not on the Stevenson train tonight, and I don't even know what that last one is. I don't even know. That's like Chinese to me. I don't have anything to say. So I'm not on any of these. Thanks so much.
There you go. Although everyone else is. They're the most bet. We don't have to be on them. That's for
everyone
sure.
Else, you mean like the 95% of the people that lost millions on the Eagles on Monday night? You mean those people? I don't listen to any of this nonsense. It's all this is to drive you nuts and make you lose money. All they do is, oh, come on in. We love you. We love you. Here's a free drink. Have a steak. Oh, by the way, we're going to sleep with your wife and take your entire life savings. Shut up.
That is what they're trying to do for you, absolutely. Aaron Rodgers, if you're looking for him to have a big yardage game, keep this in mind. He has not gone over 300 yards passing in 24 straight games. 24 straight games he has not gone over 300 yards. It's a big number tonight if you want him to do it. But just keep that in mind for them. He's been
He doesn't even throw for 200 yards.
That is correct. Some have said he's been more of a game manager here his first 2 weeks with the Jets. That's not what they.
Well, they finally have someone that's not screwing it up.
Not screwing it up, indeed. He's definitely not doing that. Here's what I have for you in terms of the touchdowns for tonight. So we're going to try to stay good with these first touchdown scores in primetime. And I think I said this to you yesterday. I am expecting Garrett Wilson to be the absolute focal point for the Jet offense tonight. He hasn't scored in the first 2 games. I think that, and Rodgers has looked to him. He's got a very high target share. I think that Rodgers is going to make it a point to get Garrett Wilson in the end zone tonight. And I'm even going to take a shot, Scotty, that he's going to be the first one that he tries to get in the end zone tonight. So plus 700, 7-1 for Garrett Wilson to be the first touchdown scorer. But I would also play him, Scotty, anytime, which I think was around 130 or 140. So you can back that up there. Alan Lazard at plus 370. He's obviously liked him the first couple of weeks. And I want to throw at least one Pat in there. We think they'll be throwing because they're down. Hunter Henry had 10 catches last week, Scotty, in that game against the Seahawks. He seems to be the guy that Brissett is looking to out on that field. They have an awful wide receiving core. So Hunter Henry at the tight end spot seems to be his guy. And it's plus 500. I'll take a shot with Double H there.
Well, Monday night you hit 2 of the 3. You were over a dime on Smith and the third one on Monday night. So what was the third one again? Do you remember who it was? It was Smith.
Well, Monday we had Smith for first. We had Smith for first touchdown. We had London for an anytime.
And London was the game winner, and you hit that at 220. Yeah. So you hit 2 of the 3 Monday night. You'll hit all 3 of these tonight. I want to throw in
that'd be
Paul
great.
and Allen both scored touchdowns. Like, I think they have a 2-headed monster, and they got Lazard and they got Wilson. I think they all score tonight.
Yeah, look, very possible. Very possible indeed that everybody gets involved for the Jets. Could be a big night, that's for sure. It's over in Cleveland, by the way. The Guardians beat the Twins walk-off style 3-2. So that means going into the weekend, the Tigers are in a flat-footed tie with the Twins for the last wild card
spot. They had the bases loaded with nobody out, and they still lost.
Yes, they didn't score. Twins had the bases loaded, top of the 10th. They didn't get the run home. Cleveland ends up getting the run home
Tigers
in the bottom
make
half.
Playoffs. Watch what happens.
The Tigers now, they both have identical 80 and 73 records. The Twins are in Boston this weekend. The Tigers are in Baltimore. So those are the 3 games. That's who each team is playing this weekend.
And where is it? Twins are where? Twins are where?
The Twins are in Boston against the Red Sox. They're at Fenway.
And the Tigers are where?
In Baltimore against the Orioles. So,
well, I like their chances. The Orioles have played like dog shack the last month and a half, 2 months.
And
they
the
won
Tigers
today,
took they took 2 out of 3 from the Orioles last weekend in Detroit. So they just beat them 2 out of 3 last week. We'll see if they can do that here. Now, I know Scooble's not pitching again until I think it's Tuesday against Tampa, who they play after that. But remember, they play the White Sox the last 3 games of the season. The Twins have no more games with the White Sox. So that is something to keep in mind with that, because that's huge.
That's free. That's free snacks, free dinner, free steak, free drinks, free room and board, full scholarship. Playing the White Sox.
You'd like to think so. If you get to that point, so we shall see.
No, it is.
For the
That's exactly
Tigers.
what it is. They're going to beat the snot out of them.
Very possible, indeed, for that. Both teams, by the way, are 2 games back of the Royals for the second.
I think the Long Island Bulldogs could beat the White Sox in the dark.
Well, listen, they're pretty good at hitting the ball in the dark. We found that out last night. We will come back and start to get into some of these other games for this Sunday. I got some Lamar for you, Jim Harbaugh. We've got Gardner Minshew today. Lots of stuff for this week's NFL Pain Day.
A little Lamar and Harbaugh today? You're giving me both. So you're giving me Lamar and you're giving me Jimmy from the Chargers going into Pittsburgh. All right.
Giving you Jim. Yeah, not
Everybody thinks
Lamar
the Chargers are going to beat the Steelers.
Not me.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in the set than I do for this year. Ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long. People,
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There's going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than game time decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Talk about your freshman year at Alabama and even the redshirt year that got you ready to perform at the highest level.
You had to learn a lot about humility, about being patient to play at Alabama. And you still knew that you're going to have a shot to win a championship every year. And so that's the line. And so I think that's what's really missing with today's football. You got NIL, you got social media.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, Carver High, you got my boy Lamar. Don't tell anyone I like him.
Yeah, I know. Even though you're a Steeler fan, you do like Lamar Jackson. You secretly wish that he was on your squad. Here we go with these guys tearing up the clubhouse. Cleveland clinches a playoff spot. They're throwing the champagne everywhere. Just enough of this stuff. They got the goggles on. What have we done? Nothing. You've done nothing so far. All right, here's Lamar Jackson. Of course, the Ravens are out to an 0-2 start, and they are heading to Dallas this weekend. Big D for a big game, 4:25 p.m. East. Here's Lamar. He's saying, Scotty, we've been hurting ourselves. We got to clean some things up, and we'll get back in the win column.
Man, let's get 1-0. We're starting the season off slow, but I believe guys in the locker room, we know what we want to do. When we go out there Sunday, and we know we've been busting our behinds each and every game. It's like we coming up short, but I feel like at the end of the day we beating ourselves in somewhat, because it's penalties killing us, the Emmys we doing, even me, making little missed throws. We just gotta fix those little things, and I feel like we're gonna win our games like we're supposed to.
Yeah, look, that hairdo is fantastic, and that's kind of what I'm going for now that I'm growing my hair out, Carver High. I also want to say that I think they're going to beat the Cowboys.
1.5 for the Ravens. They're the road favorites right now. 47.5 is the total. Lamar is 20-1. That is 20 wins and 1 loss straight up against NFC opponents in his career. 20-1 against the NFC. That is staggering. That's what you would say is not a small sample size. That's
not a fluke.
That's not a small sample size. For whatever reason, he beats these teams from the other conference whenever he plays them. It's still Thursday, but so far this week I have been leaning Cowboys, Scotty. I'm leaning towards the Cowboys, amazingly. Which at the end of the day you'd root for, because then the Ravens would be 0-3, which I know you wouldn't have a problem with that either.
I don't have a problem with that, but look, the Cowboys, I think the Cowboys, offensively speaking, can win games. I think that Dak is good. I think CeeDee's good, etc. but they cannot stop the run. I mean, I have never seen anything like watching them have Kamara cut through them like a deli slicer on Sunday at Jerry's World. So they have no edge at home that, they've apparently been bragging about. They had won 16 straight regular season home games. But the last 2 times they played there, they got their ass beat there. So which is it? The playoffs is worse than losing regular season games. What do I care about winning regular season games every time? Playoffs are all that matter when you're the Dallas Cowboys, when you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, when you're the San Francisco 49ers, when you're the Green Bay Packers. That's it. I mean, they play for titles. They don't play for regular season wins. And I'm telling you, they were terrible last week. Baltimore and that quarterback, that record of his against the NFC, that's it. If I'm going to look at a team, we've already seen Dallas lose. We've seen Baltimore lose twice. Who do I have more faith in to win a game? It's Lamar Jackson.
It is Lamar Jackson. If we're talking about that, there's no question about it. And yes, the Dallas defense, run-wise, not pretty, especially with what Kamara did to them last week. Destroyed them. Next, we will go to Pittsburgh, Scotty, where, of course, the Chargers come calling for the Steelers this week. We talked about Herbert's ankle yesterday. Harbaugh says he does expect him to play on Sunday. Good luck with that, with Watt chasing you. We've played some really funny, weird Harbaugh sound bites already this year. Here's another one for him, Scotty. He really loves his coaching staff.
What about his coaching style, or what about his kind of like teaching philosophy lends itself to such good running production?
He's a great coach. I mean, one of the best I've ever been around. Like Moses, I'm gonna die leaning on my staff. Greg Roman, Jesse Minter, Ryan Fick, and those coordinators are, in my opinion, some of the best in the business.
Well, there you
go. Like Moses, I'm gonna die leaning on my staff. Where does he come up with this stuff?
Well, as you know,
where does he come up with this stuff?
We frequently talk about walking with a piece of salmon in the desert with Birkenstocks on and no water, and suddenly there's a lake of water. We refer to it all the time, so he should be entitled to do the same.
He should be.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in the set than I do for this year. I'm ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all season long.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Talk about your freshman year at Alabama and even the redshirt year that got you ready to perform at the highest level.
You had to learn a lot about humility, about being patient to play at Alabama, and you still knew that you're going to have a shot to win a championship every year. And so that's the line. And so I think that's what's really missing with today's football. You got NIL, you got social media.
The early line. only on SportsGrid.
So the Malik Willis return to Smashville has people excited. I have no idea why. He never played there. He just stood on the sideline really the whole time. And I'll tell you another thing. If he plays, they're losing at Tennessee on Sunday. And if Love plays, the Packers will win that game. If it's Willis, he'll go back there and screw that up nice and juicy.
Yeah, well, let me give you all the rundown of what's going on here. Obviously, yesterday we talked about Love. He was officially limited at practice. Today, he did have pads on when he was out there, so clearly he's cleared for contact if he's got pads on and he's working. Obviously, the Willis thing, he's going back to Tennessee. As you mentioned, 85% of the time, he stood on the sideline. He only played in a couple games. Now, he was awful in those couple games that he played in, but still, there is a chance he could start if Love is not going to be the guy on Sunday. But to be fair, Scotty, he got no problem with Nashville. You want to know why? That check always cleared.
I know you said Sunday, you're not a chip on your shoulder type of guy. Is there really no part in you that if you start on Sunday, it's not like I want to prove these guys wrong for whatever happened when you were with the Titans?
No, I could care less, bro. I think I got paid the whole time I was there, bro. I'm more than blessed for the opportunity they've given me, and they brought me into this league, whether those guys are there or not. That organization, they took a shot on me, Miss Amy. They did a great job by me, all I'm concerned.
There you go.
He got
Listen,
paid.
I told you.
Right?
How many times have I told you? Like, that said it all right there. These guys all play for paychecks. There is no other reason to play. Like, you heard him. He's like, oh, you got to want to get a piece of that. These guys don't even care about winning. They don't. All they want is money. That's it. They are pro football players for one reason and one reason only, money. And if they get a ring along the way and win and they're on a championship team, it's gravy on top. But, how about all the guys? Now, tell me I'm wrong. How many guys have sold their Super Bowl rings years down the line? Like all of them? No one gives a rat's ass. All they care about is money. Money.
I love that, though. Try to pump the guy up. Oh, you're not. Look. Man, I got paid the whole time. I was there. That check went right. The check was here every week, every game check. Boom. Just because I didn't play doesn't mean I didn't get paid. That's what it's all about. -2.5 for Tennessee. 37.5 is the total. I did see this at one point last night creep to 1.5, but it's back to 2.5 now, Scotty.
I'm on, like I said, if he plays, I'm on the Titans. If Love plays, I'm on the Packers. So, game time bet.
That is a true wait until Sunday morning. They usually put the inactives out. I think it's 90 minutes before, so around 11:30 a.m. Sunday morning, you'll know if Love's going to play or not. I'm sure some of the insiders will know, maybe even a couple of hours before that. But make sure you check that out before you get involved. All right, next. Raiders, Scotty, coming off a huge win in Baltimore against the Ravens. Now come back home. They're going to have the Panthers in town. We know what kind of problems they have. I'm sure you remember seeing this last week. Minshew threw that bad pick while the Raiders were down, and you saw Max Crosby come over and really talk him up. Got in his face, not getting his face, but he basically grabbed him, was pointing at him. You can get this done. We got your back. Well, Minshew, I played it more for that, Scotty, and more to just listen to this guy say dude like 6 times in this whole clip. Here's Minshew.
How big of a deal was Max's pep talk to you after the interception early on for the rest of the game?
No, it was awesome, man. He grabbed me and just said, hey, we got your back, dude. Like, we need that Washington State Gardner. We need that, And I was like, man, you're right, dude. Let me see if I can go whip that up real quick. But, nah, man, that dude's a great leader. He does it the right way, man, and couldn't be more grateful to have him on our team.
Listen, how great is that? Because my man is now starting in the NFL for the Raiders. He's Chuck in charge, and I thought he was always a clear backup and a good backup. He was, serviceable for sure. He could play. And they always said, like, if you need a guy for a month, that's the guy you want. Now he's starting, and every other word is dude and bro and man, and like he's just so stoned. And it's legal in Nevada. I mean, my man looked completely baked. Oh, dude, rah, yeah, man, yeah, dude. And I'm making all kinds of money. They gave him what they give him, $25 million? Like, they gave this guy a boatload of money, and he's starting now. He don't care about nothing. Like, when you get the bag and they give you the power too, you're the starting quarterback and you get the bag, what's next? Free hookers? I mean, honestly, he's in Vegas loving life.
Dude, man, it was so great, man. I mean, I was just, let's go. I got my van outside, man. Let's go out to the van. Raiders are -5.5. That's always a number that makes you very scary. 39.5 is the total. Of course, the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, steps in for Bryce Young this week for Carolina.
I guess that's the only thing I'm worried about for the spread is because Dalton's playing. He knows how to play. So, Led Zeppelin, the back door will be unlocked. He's your back door man right there. A guy that can play 4 quarters, and he'll sling it until the gun goes off. So I'd worry about that 5.5. If it were Young, I would have already bet on the Raiders while I was there on my account. That's how bad the Panthers are. But with Dalton, I think the door is wide open. And if not, then just kick the screen and go right through anyway.
Mafi said he looks like McConaughey in Dazed and Confused. Wooderson, man. Yeah, man. That's it. Speaking of Bryce Young, of course, he goes to the bench, Scotty. If there's anyone in the league who knows about being the number 1 overall pick in the draft and maybe not getting it done, being replaced early in their career, maybe sometimes taking 2, 3, or even 4 stops before they finally figure it out and are in a good situation, it's Baker Mayfield. He talked about the Young situation.
Obviously, mine didn't happen in the same time frame with Bryce, but quarterback's hard, especially for young guys when you're not surrounded with the pieces that not given the opportunity to have success. And so that's a lot of the time guys have the talent, they might have the brains, but they don't have the right opportunity, the right fit. I mean, I'm sitting here right now in a way better fit than the other places I've been. And that's not to put other teams down, but it's a matter of the pieces around you, the coaches, and for Bryce, a guy that, I can relate to this, finding that belief within yourself again, and he'll get it. His story's far, far from finished.
Look, here's the reality of it, is that Baker Mayfield just got $100 million, period.
That's it. And I think when he ran out of Cleveland, I don't think you ever saw that, or anyone really saw that coming for him with the way that things ended there. When he ran out of
Carolina for them and got abused.
I thought he did too.
He got physically abused and mauled there. They didn't protect him. They did nothing. They let him get his head taken off every Sunday. I thought he tried and played his ass off, and I thought he lit it up with the Rams, and now he lit it up with Tampa, and he got the money. I don't think Young is done. I think Young looks done in Carolina, and I think he definitely needs a change of scenery. But I'll tell you one thing, right now, he totally sucks.
He sucks right now, and he needs a change of scenery, but it took Baker 4 stops. I mean, when Baker went to Carolina, it was a disaster. The organization's a disaster. Anyone who passes through those doors right now, it's a disaster. It's just one of those places. And if you get put in the right spot, great coaching, great pieces, suddenly you look like the number 1 overall draft pick again. And it's probably going to happen for Bryce somewhere else, like it did for Baker, and not in Carolina.
Or
that
he
place
might
is just completely.
He might end up a career backup. And so what if you get paid?
Hey, a lot of guys make a lot of money in that job. A lot of money.
You better believe it. Backups make more money than anyone you know.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in the set than I do for this year. Brady, I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all season long.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Talk about your freshman year at Alabama and even the redshirt year that got you ready to perform at the highest level.
You had to learn a lot about humility, about being patient to play at Alabama, and you still knew that you're going to have a shot to win a championship every year. And so that's the line. And so I think that's what's really missing with today's football. You got NIL, you got social media.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, Carver High, what about the New York Football Giants?
Yes, the New York Football Giants head to Cleveland this week. Of course, they are 0-2, looking for their first win of the season. Here is quarterback Daniel Jones. He's very aware. He hears from plenty of people what the Giants' record is so far.
Talk from the coaches to the players or the players amongst themselves about 0-2.
I think everyone realizes our record. I think everybody understands that, but no one's discouraged or no one's letting that affect our preparation and how hard we work going into the game. So, there's a great energy and feel in the building still, and I think that's important and important to our preparation, important to our process, and making sure we're practicing well and preparing to play well. So, we know the record, but it's a long season, and we got a good football team.
I think they have a shot in this game. I'm not overwhelmed at all by the Cleveland Browns. I thought they looked almost unbeatable with Flacco and that defense of Schwartz's last year, but I'm not seeing any of that. The fruits of that aren't visible to me yet. So, they got lucky last week as far as I'm concerned, and I think that the Giants are getting too many points. In fact, I could see them winning the game outright.
Outright, huh? Outright for the G-Men Big Blue on Sunday at the Dog Pound. 6.5. That would be plus 270, by the way, on the money line for the G-Men there in Cleveland. 38.5 is the total. I don't know if I can walk all the way across that bridge with you for them to win outright, but I will absolutely join you in taking the 6.5 points. I got no problem with that. I would not be laying 6.5 with the Browns anywhere. Yes.
They got their ass beat by Dallas in Cleveland. Then they barely got by the Jaguars. And, so I think they looked really average in both games. One they lost, one they won, and they won by 5. You're talking about 6.5. So, listen, this weekend, here's one thing that I'm certain of, is that it's desperation time for all these 0-2 teams. Every team that's 0-2 is desperate to win. This is the NFL. You go 0-3, you're basically finished. You're 0-3, your season's over, and you're like playing for positioning of draft choices. That's all there is to it. And so you have to win. And I think without question, Brian Daboll is feeling heat. And it's making this Shane and Daboll ticket look embarrassing. This has been going on now for a year and a month, okay? One full season of failure. Now they're into year 2 of failure. These guys are so desperate for a win because Mara's looking down the hall going, I'm going to start firing somebody. Like, Mara's had about enough. Now, I'm sure that everybody got their rocks off at the Giants headquarters when they saw Barkley drop the ball, but he still had a big game. And his first game was just as big in Brazil. So Mara still rues the day that guy traded him to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I guarantee you when he says his prayers at night, he blames him. He blames him, Shane, for that move. I guarantee it. And if Daboll and Shane don't start winning, their days are numbered.
I don't disagree, especially with you-know-who lurking on
We
several
saw him
television.
fire everyone. They fired everyone within their deal. They all had 5-year deals. They all got fired in 3 years. This is year 3.
And I keep pushing that there is a marriage there, as much as Giant fans aren't going to like it, between Belichick and Mara. It is there if things go really bad.
You're right.
They love each other.
You're right, Mike. And you know what else on top of that? Here is a guy that comes across as a youth minister, Mara. He comes across as a youth minister. He really is. Like, he's such a nice guy. He's like, you want your daughter to marry his son, right? You're like, I trust that man. But he does have ice in his veins when it comes to firing people. My man will fire people, and he's done it repeatedly. He'll fire you. If you do not produce, he will fire you. Unlike everyone else in this town. Honestly, there's no more George Steinbrenners. Mara's the next best thing. He will fire head coaches in 3 years. He has no problem with it at all. Woody Johnson doesn't even fire people at the rate Mara does. I mean, I'm right. I've been here long enough. Do I have the street cred now? I've seen this guy fire 10 people. So I don't want to hear it. I think those guys are in big trouble if they keep losing.
He is going to want to bring the franchise back to respectability.
To glory.
One guy out
they win
there
Super Bowls.
who can do that. I don't know if Belichick will bring him back to glory, but he'll bring him back to respectability.
Glory.
If that does happen.
Nothing is
Glory
finished.
indeed. Let's squeeze this in before we go to break. Of course, the Chiefs are going to be in Atlanta on Sunday night. Chiefs out to the 2-0 start. Falcons with the win Monday night in Philly. Of course, that means Patrick Mahomes is coming to town. And for Raheem Morris, that means nightmares is what that means.
What does he do so well that makes him so hard to defend?
He's smart. He's unique. He can move around. He can buy time. He can play within the framework of the system. He can see. He knows what you're doing on defense. He's grown up to the point of, he's almost seen everything at this point. Seen every trick, every trade, every gimmick, every gamut, every whatever you want to call it. He's played at the highest level. He's played in the highest game that we all want to play in. He's been able to really go out there and be at the top of his game in just about everything. And he's just one of the best. I mean, I don't even know. He's an alien, so to speak. He's those guys that you consider and put him in that alien type light. And he's the best. He's one of the best, Allison.
He ain't no Rick James.
He's an alien. Super freak, no doubt. 3.5 for the Chiefs on Sunday night with a 46.5 here in Atlanta. Remember, it's Arthur Blank night, too, with your hot dogs and your chips and your soda.
Oh, how I want the Falcons to beat the Chiefs on Sunday night, honestly. I want everything to go right. The ceremonies, the hot dogs, the free sodas, all the kids are lit. Everybody's happy, and then Cousins does it again, and the Chiefs lose. Let's go.
It would be great if we could get it. I'd love to see it. The hook is scary.
I hate the Chiefs dead.
right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in the set than I do for this year. Ready? I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all season.
What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Talk about your freshman year at Alabama and even the redshirt year that got you ready to perform at the highest level.
You had to learn a lot about humility, about being patient to play at Alabama, and you still knew that you're going to have a shot to win a championship every year. And so that's the line. And so I think that's what's really missing with today's football. You got NIL, you got social media.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, so I'm going to go on a limb over here at Carver High with the Lions coming off a loss. As I had mentioned yesterday, they're 8-0 off a loss and against the spread. So I'm going with them. I don't care. I got to go. I think they get it done in Glendale.
Yeah, I think they're going to get it done as well. First of all, bizarre story with Dan Campbell that I'm sure you saw. He had to sell his house due to security concerns. I guess the whole neighborhood and the whole city figured out where Dan Campbell lived. I guess they were showing up at his crib after losses or something. Like everybody was giving. I mean, the guy's like the best coach the team's had in like 50 years, and we're all going to show up at the guy's house and make his life miserable. So Dan Campbell had to move, Scotty. I know you saw that story.
Well, and the thing that was weird about it is the wife had said something about it was a diamond in the rough. It was their favorite house. It was awesome and had everything. It was perfect. The neighborhood, the town, everything. They loved it. It was their dream house and everything else. And then now they're selling it and moving because they don't want anyone to know where they live. It's kind of bizarre. And first of all, you would think that the Lions could do something about that security-wise. Secondly, this guy is the size of a mountain. Who in their right mind would F with that guy? Like, if I'm in a bar and that guy was mad at me and he caught me looking at his chick, you might want to head to the exit in a hurry or jump out a window. Dan Campbell is not the kind of guy I would want to piss off. He is a monster. I mean, that guy is huge. Like, why would he be afraid of anyone? You drive up on my house and you're that big. Listen, someone, walking tall. That guy's got a nightstick. He's so huge. I'm surprised. I really am that he's leaving his dream house because he's afraid of some fans. I mean, I don't get it. The NFL can't do anything about that because, the NFL is the FBI. They're the Department of Justice. The NFL is the CIA, and they can't get rid of people harassing Dan Campbell. I mean, what is next? These stories you tell me.
Can't we, buy a gate or something?
Yeah, like,
buy
can't
a
we
gate?
you'd think he'd live in the rich gated community of his security. Honestly.
Now look, I mean, who knows where the guy is at? None of us. You probably don't want anybody at your house either if it's that situation. Like, leave the guy alone. Just honestly, how crazy do you have to be to go out to the head coach's house and like act like a moron? Like, where are we at? I guess that's today's day.
I get a little, I was with my buddy the other day in Vegas, and I get a little people screaming stuff at me. 8 out of 10 dentists prefer I get good stuff like Shake It Up and You the Man and all this. But then I get 1 or 2 that are fruity, that are, a little foul or whatever, or, that are nasty. And I just, I ignore them. Like, I don't, I'm nice to people that are cool to me. And if you're a D to me, I ignore you. And if you want a piece of me, which I've had happen to me, as you know, I've been attacked in Manhattan several times of record with the police. And it depends on who you are, I guess, and your size. Because Mafia and I always do sell the 6'5" and 6'4", 240, and I am 240 full of FU. I'm a big boy. So, I always notice when I'm walking around, people don't mess with big dudes. They mess with dudes they think they can take out. Big dudes, people question whether or not you're going to take them out. Now, I know I'm an old man and everything else, but I'm crazy. And Mafia knows I'm violent. I'm dirty. You want to play basketball dirty? I'll break your nose. What do you want? I'll trip you, slew foot you. I'll kick you in the stones. I'll gouge your eye out. I'll do it. Trust me, I'll do it. So come on by the house and visit me. You don't like me? Come on over. I'm always in a generally foul mood.
I'm with you on the Lions, minus the 3 in Arizona.
I don't know what happened to this story, but it suddenly turned into me and violence.
It got everybody upset.
And you've done it again.
Everybody got upset. I did it again.
Trying to make me look bad.
I saw Joe Burrow say yesterday that the Bengals are not panicking by any means after an 0-2 start. I also saw today that T. Higgins was back at practice. So that's really good news for them ahead of Monday night's game with the Washington football team that they're going to have at home. So that's good.
They're going to destroy them Monday night. That is a bloodletting. I think Monday night the Bengals are going to score 45 points on their own.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
You know what? What can one of these quarterbacks or wide receivers do for me this year to make a wager? It's got to be the running conditions there for Jaden Daniels.
In regards to Jaden Daniels, I was on him in regards to the Heisman Trophy. I actually think he's going to do it on the ground, through the air, 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, playing in Cliff Kingsbury's offense where he wants to spread it and throw it. I think he's going to put up dynamic numbers.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The only streaming sports betting network. Tips, info, and insights to up your IQ. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
New to the Live Golf Plus app. Watch Live Golf any way you want it. Follow any group. Replay any shot. Anytime, anywhere. Any questions? Watch Live Golf live and on demand.
He had 4 grabs in the first half for just over 30 yards, was injured, came back in briefly, and then had to be carted off.
We were pessimistic on Puka Nakua's injury to the same right knee, of that being a nothing, just a bursa, and that's it, as per Sean McVay. We felt there could be a small PCL component.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.